Community Crumpet Content Note. Before we begin, we'd like to let you know that this episode includes discussion of sensitive topics, including suicide and men's mental health. At Community Crumpet, these conversations matter, but they may be difficult for some listeners. If you feel this isn't the right time for you to listen, please feel free to pause or come back to the episode another day. If you or someone you know has been affected by the issues discussed, support is available. Please check the links in this episode's description for organisations and resources that may be able to help. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome to Community Crumpet, a tasty slice of community spirit. Now, I'm Tony, and in this episode, I am blessed to have two great people in today. I've got Sean and Jeff from Andy's Man Club. Now, this podcast is all about the stories, people, and ideas that make our community stronger. And today is a chance for those two to get their genius out there to you listeners. Let's get the crumpet going. This episode is supported by BAE Systems, helping make space for conversations like this across our community. Jeff, Sean, how are you fellas?
Good, thanks.
Yeah,
really good.
Pretty good, thank you.
It is great to see you. Now, I believe, Sean, you were coming in on your own, then all of a sudden you saw this other guy across the road and you've dragged him in.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just walking to treat myself to a coffee on the way in to see you guys, and then Jeff appeared out of the mist in Barrow, and we just walked for a Subway. We went for a Subway, had a quick chat, told him what we were doing. Jeff is a facilitator, so
perfect.
I told him what we were doing and he's come along, yeah.
Absolutely perfect. So, 2025, what a year. Group Project of the Year, Love Barrow Awards, Ulverston Community Group of the Year 2025. Superb, guys. You get that because of the brilliance that you're actually doing in the community. Andy's Man Club. What's it all about?
Yeah, so Andy's Man Club, as a charity across the UK, is branded as a suicide awareness charity. But it's one of those that title isn't all of what it is. It is just a safe space and a regular drumbeat of somewhere for a guy to go and get things off his chest. And if he's got some struggles going on, troubles in his life, they are better shared. Everyone knows that saying of a problem shared is a problem halved. And we just allow that safe space in a familiar territory. So we're hosted at Ulverston Group, that they're in a training school up there. And most people in the area know those buildings, facilities and stuff. So it's safe for them to go to as well.
Fantastic ethos. But this ethos started, I think, a few years ago, somewhere else in the country, 10 years ago, I believe. And it started off where and why did it start off, Sean? What was the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, so sadly, as it's called Andy's Man Club, it was named after a young lad at the age of 23 called Andy Roberts. He was over in Yorkshire, decided that this world wasn't for him, took things into his own hands. And on the back of him sadly passing away, his family then got around each other. His brother-in-law was a rugby league player called Luke Ambler, and Luke decided he wanted to go for a chat with some of his mates, and then put a message out. They gathered, they got into I think it was a Costa in Halifax way back, just chatted about what had gone on with Andy, what their feelings, emotions were and all that sort of stuff. And Elaine, who's Andy's mum, she went along as well. The chat that they had, Elaine sat there and watched it, observed it, and thought, you know what, that was powerful, but it needs to happen again without me. So she had the chat with Luke on the way home and said, Luke, you need to do that again, but I'm not coming next time. And there you go, Andy's Man Club began. More and more people decided to join in and get involved with it. Then they opened a few branches over there. It spread far and wide. And Andy's Man Club, now the hope and dream for the UK team is that we've got an Andy's Man Club within 30 minutes commute of any guy in the UK.
Wow, I mean, that is some target, and I'm sure you'll be pretty much close to that anyway. Is there a reason, a specific day that Andy's Man Club is on?
Yeah, so again, going back to Andy, he decided to take his own life at the late Monday night, early mornings of Tuesday, and statistically, that is one of the highest times throughout the week that people do decide to do it, and not just men, so ladies obviously, but nationally, the stats are that guys are sadly 75% of those that take their own lives, and that's why we do it on a Monday night to give that safe space and that haven for someone to go.
Such a high percent, and honestly, I get this sickly feeling. Even you just telling me about the origins of Andy's Man Club and how it come about, you just get that sickly feeling in your stomach. It's how do you talk about it? That's the thing, and I guess, you know, with what you're doing, you're kind of like breaking down a lot of barriers. Because I guess, do I just class myself as a typical fella that just doesn't feel comfortable about talking about things, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just life. And myself and Jeff see it every Monday night. The hashtag that Andy's Man Club have put to the charity is "It's okay to talk," and it is. Whether you're talking about good or bad, you need to talk about things. And those troubles, like I said earlier, if you share them, then they're not as big as what they might seem when you're keeping them to yourself. But talking about what we do, I find it pretty easy now. I didn't at first, and going into it, the venture that we went on in Barrow to open our doors, I started to stress a little bit, I'm not going to lie. When we were opening the doors, I was thinking, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing it? What are we doing it for? Is it for me? Is it for other people? Is it for the community? Is it for what? And ultimately, I was selfish. It was for me. I needed it at the time. Still do need it. Go occasionally with an open mindset, but then the next time I'll go with a facilitator head on and stuff like that, because I'm good and I don't need to share what I might share on a Monday night if I'm needing to share, but I'll go anyways because I find it as a weekly reset. It's a good thing for me to do and keep a regular check-in on myself. And like I said, talking about it now is second nature. It's just what we do.
And I think that's right. There'll be probably plenty of fellas out there thinking, no, I'm a man, I don't need to, big and brash, this, that and the other. But I think every man and their dog needs to talk about their daily lives.
Definitely. If you can find me a man without any troubles, Tony, then I think you'll find me a liar.
I'm totally on board with what you're saying there. So, like, as a facilitator, Jeff, I mean, give us a little bit more about the role that you're playing yourself. I mean,
well, it's part of the team. We go along to support the group and what they do. It's a set process. There's standard questions each week and everything like that. So from my point of view, because of the stuff I'd been through pretty much right the way through my life, I sort of wanted to give back because I developed myself to get to a certain position in life, and quite a good position from what I can see from myself now. But I wanted to help other guys that were less fortunate than me and struggling with life. So we follow the principles of the asking the questions and then listen. That's the important thing, is letting the guys have their word. When they've got the ball, it's like a football, but it's black and it's got Andy's Man Club on it. When they've got the ball, it's their choice to turn to talk. Nobody should interfere or say anything, and if they do want to say anything, they've got to hold their hand up and be introduced into it. But it's giving the guys the chance to talk, because what we found with a lot of guys, the issues, they try and start talking, or they've tried in the past and they get interrupted, whether it be at home or with friends or whatever else.
So you've got your ground rules.
They've got the ground rules, and it's like their chance to open up. And we're limited by time, which can cause issues sometimes, but it's just giving them that chance to sort of vent a little bit or open up a bit. And it's not in a negative way. It's just speaking from the heart of what they're truly feeling, but it doesn't always get there straight away. They might just be talking about they've had a bad week and the dog wasn't behaving, or the kids were being annoying, and then after a few weeks they'll maybe get around to the deeper stuff that's really bothering them. So I'm there, and I love to give that support, and I get a lot back from that. I learn a lot about people, about life. So you get a better understanding of things. I had particular views when I first started, and now I understand things a bit better, and it's like the world's fascinating. It's just in people, yeah.
Again, we're blessed in this locality to have so many good people. And again, listeners, I've got two people sat in front of me today doing the fantastic stuff through Andy's Man Club. So, I mean, Sean, you started off a wee while ago. You're based at Barrow AFC. You'll have started off with just a small number of guys, and then I presume, and I'm talking about facilitators and then your team, that's probably grown quite significantly since that first opening night. Yeah,
absolutely. Arms and legs in terms of growth. The original guys, as we like to refer to ourselves, so myself and Jeff included in that, we were probably part of, I think there was 8 or 9 of us that committed to going up to Workington and Whitehaven. We couldn't open our doors until we'd experienced Andy's Man Club ourselves. We had to go to a number of sessions up there, and in turn, the guys up the coast, they were fantastic, and they are part of that Andy's Man Club brotherhood. Never has a car full of barrel lads been welcomed to Workington the way we were, put it that way.
Yeah.
I've been up there many a time with the rugby, and it's not a warm welcome. So to go up there and be hugged and handshaked when you got out of the car, and then accepted as part of their team, to the point that some of us, when we went up the road, we actually led their sessions before coming back and doing it ourselves and opening our own doors. But the original team, as we do refer to it, couldn't do what we did without the people of the community, people sponsoring us for various different activities and events and stuff like that to help promote what we were doing and what was coming to town. When we opened our doors, we actually had 80 guys attend. That does include the facilitation team, but that 80 is still a national record for Andy's Man Club. And as we're recording today, Andy's Man Club have 355 clubs in the country. So for us to still have that record of 80 attended on the first night just shows that the area did need it.
I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal. And that's telling you, it's 80 guys need to have a natter with fellow mates and things like that. So, I mean, for myself, I'm turning up, I'm going down, we're at Barrow AFC here. It's a Monday night. What time is it?
It's 7 o'clock start.
So 7 o'clock start. So I'm thinking, right, I need to have a bit of a chat to somebody. I'm getting a little bit uptight about certain things and all that. So I turn up and knock on the door. What am I faced with? What am I going into then? How does the evening pan out?
Turning up to the football ground, it is, for quite a few guys in the town, quite a familiar thing. They do go there on a Saturday to watch the Bluebirds, but if they're not, they'll be met with a facilitation team on the door. As you drive past, we do have an A board outside just pointing in the right direction, and then when you park up, or if you've walked, if you've got public transport and so on, there's normally 3 or 4 guys of the team sat outside waiting for people to turn up, and they give them that handshake, they give them that warm welcome. If obviously they're a repeat attendee, then great, they know each other. They'll have a quick natter, then the guys will take them upstairs for a brew. But we've had it where guys have drove past in the car, and certain people have noticed it in the team and gone, do you know what, that car's gone past 3 times tonight. It's not a taxi. Where's it going? And then all of a sudden it pulls in the car park, but the guy doesn't get out. And then the engine turns off, so the guy's thinking, well, I've parked up, I've stopped, still don't get out. So one of the team, and I've done this a couple of times myself, have started to walk over to the car, and then the guy has actually got out of the car. On one occasion, one guy didn't get out, and I went and tapped on his window and just said, "Hi mate, are you from this Man Club?" And his answer was plain, "Yeah, I am, but I don't think I can get out of the car." I said, "Well, I need a brew. You come in, I'll make you one." And all of a sudden, the offer of a brew pushed that barrier down for him. And then he walked in, went upstairs, had a quick chat with him, showing him the ropes, showing him where as we've talked about, we set some rules at the start. So we do that in the main event room, but then we do the smaller conversations in the hospitality suites. So I just walked him through the facility because he'd never been. But then he sat having a brew. Before he knew it, a couple of guys, because we do live in a cul-de-sac, don't we? A couple of guys walked through the door that he knew. So straight away he's like, I'm not alone in this. I know them. I'm going to have a chat with them. So I just left him to it. But yeah, that's the warm welcome that they'll get if they turn up for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there'll be a number of people thinking, I don't want to be seen to be going into Andy's Man Club. It looks like I've got problems. And let's face it, we've all got problems, and we can't say that we haven't and all that. And I'm sure, Jeff, you see plenty of people that it's very basic what they want to talk about, and you can put the mind at rest. So I go in there and I'm offered a coffee, have a coffee, I sit down. What are the basic rules that I've got to adhere to?
So we've got 4 basic rules. So what's said in the group sessions stays in the group sessions. Yeah. There's 4 topics that we don't talk about: politics,
religion,
religion,
sport.
No, religion, and criminal matters and criminal matters that have been raised.
Yeah.
And any drugs or medication that you may be on. You can have passing references to
Good
them
rules.
and everything like that. But obviously somebody could be on something that's right for them and prescribed for them properly.
Yeah.
And then if you start mentioning that to somebody else and I want to take that, or I can lend you some and everything like that, that's not what we want to promote or anything like that. And obviously the politics and criminal matters and everything, because that could disrupt the group. We're talking about politics. Same with football from my point of view, but that's not one of the rules. But yeah, so we keep to those rules, and then basically the safety precautions about the group. There's three or four facilitators per group, the lead facilitator, backup support, and then 2 what we call sweepers. So our groups in Barrow are normally, depending on how many facilitators we can get that particular week, 10 to 15 people as such, which is a good number. So if anybody has any issues or something's raised within the group and they feel they need to leave at that particular point in time, we'll get one of the sweepers will get up and walk, or 2 of the sweepers will get up and walk out with them to make sure they're okay, safe, secure, there's no issues. And usually we try and talk them to coming back in, because it's better for them to finish the whole process and going through the full questions and everything to make sure they're safe and secure. But sometimes that's entirely up to them. We don't kidnap them and force them to stay or anything like that. It's just looking after them to make sure they're safe and secure. Because the last thing we want is somebody leaving that's feeling really down out of it. So we'll talk them through. But yeah, that's from our point of view. Basically, we're there to look after them and talk them through. The facilitators, if like I was leading this week, I'll go through each of the questions as such, and then after we've done question 3, we'll have a break, 10 minutes or more, depending on time allowance, and then come back in and have the relatively light-hearted, quick-fire questions as such, which raises the mood, and it's part of the process to make sure, because question 3 can be really heavy on the group. One of the things I'll say is it's not like, although I've never been Alcoholics Anonymous or a drug specific or a guidance around the room, you could have multiple different people with different issues going on. So somebody could be just found out their partner's got cancer, somebody could be a bereavement issue, drug issue, or just lost a job or anything. Somebody could be feeling really good and just wanted to come up and support other guys. And so as you're going around the room, it can be either quite a light week and nobody have any real issues, or somebody could have found out some serious information. And if you've got, say, 5 out of the 10 group wanting to offload everything they've gone through, that can eat up the time pretty quickly. So that's got to be managed by the facilitators in the room, which is quite difficult, because when somebody's pouring their heart out, the last thing you want to do is to interrupt them, or so it's working through that process. So we have training from group, annual, biannual, etc., to make sure we understand our position and how best we can support. But the one thing I've definitely say from our point of view, we're not professionals, we're not counsellors, guidance or anything like that, but we have a massive support team behind us, the local community support groups, various groups that are out there for various different issues are out there. So if we see there's an issue from a member of the group, we can refer them on to one of these more professional groups that can hopefully support them to get to a better position.
It sounds great what I've just heard there, Jeff, and obviously there's so much care and thought taken about the gentlemen, the fellas that are coming in on the evening and that. So, I mean, Sean, there's always this, I guess, stigma attached to Andy's Man Club. You know, I mean, I'm already seeing and learning that shouldn't need to be any stigma whatsoever, but I guess that's still a hurdle that you're probably trying to get hold of.
Yeah, and I think that that stigma is going to be there forever and a day, I think. I think we'll just be better at talking about it, and like we referred to earlier, is better talking. I think one of the things that we've found, and certainly helping us, isn't just the Monday nights. So when guys turn up and share their troubles, they then go back to a household, they go back to work, they go back to a social circle and things like that. And the knock-on effect of that guy feeling better about himself is widespread. We can't measure that. We do count the numbers that come through our doors each week, but we don't then know the impact of what that guy's session has then allowed outside of Monday nights.
Yeah. I mean, I'm picking up on Facebook. You do see people on Facebook now actually posting about Andy's Man Club and how they feel great being part of that scene. And put it as a scene, I think it is a scene and it's a club. I mean, I can probably liken it to I've been going into my local hostelry, the Strawberry, for 35 plus years and all that, and for 30 of them we've classed it as a Thursday night club with my mates and all that, and we're like last of the summer wine, just putting the world to rights. But now we've all tipped 60, I've tipped 60, some of my mates are 65 touching on 70. Honestly, we're all telling each other about our ailments, you know, and it's kind of like we're just opening up. We don't seem to be, you just, you know, and that's it. You know, you talk to your mates, look after your mates, because the last thing you want is that one of your mates has decided to take their own life and all. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't like saying it. It's horrific, you know.
It is, and sadly, some guys do get to that point, don't they? And ladies. I think what you've just done there, though, is hit the nail on the head in that talking and being with your friends. Sometimes that is people's barrier. So the friends and the family side of things can be that you don't want to burden those people closest to you.
Yeah,
so,
got you, yeah.
Yes, like what you do at the Strawberry with your pals is great, but let's say one of your group didn't want to share on a Thursday night, and they were then in a bit of a troublesome place. Monday night at Andy's Man Club is that safe haven, because they might go in and know a couple of people because of the area we live in, but more often than not, people don't know each other. And because they don't know each other, they're willing to share a bit more because they're not feeling like they're burdening that person.
Yeah.
But equally, just talking about it, getting it out, venting it, allows them that little bit of relief. You can, like, you physically see guys change within 2 hours on a Monday night.
Oh, I bet you do.
They walk through the door and they're all dishevelled. They're not giving eye contact. They're looking down on themselves, and not necessarily down in the dumps, but yeah, they're certainly not showing that they've got a spring in the step, shall we say. And then 2 hours later, they've got a few new mates. They've had a crack, they've had a good brew, they've had some biscuits. Some people even fill the biscuits or fill the pockets with biscuits before they go. But
I know people like that.
Nearly everybody that leaves, obviously we can't say everybody, because there's certain people that do have very big struggles going on that don't go away just because they've spoke about them. But most people, when they leave on a Monday night, they are feeling better about themselves.
You can see the relief.
Whether they've been for the 50th time or the first, it doesn't matter. And more often than not, again, and Jeff will vouch for this, that you get guys who've walked through the door feeling like a mess, looking like a mess. And then we've had a chance to let them vent whatever they've wanted to vent about. And then they've left, they've given us a handshake, they've got a spring in the step, and they said, see you next week, guys.
That is absolutely fantastic. So, I mean, I've sat down, and if I'm in your group, Jeff, and you're a facilitator, what kind of questions would be, or how's your tact to get me to open up? Because I'm coming in as a closed book here. I don't want to say a great deal.
So it's pretty straightforward. There's a strategy behind it. So there's the opening question: who are you and why are you there? But remember, one of our things is, if you've got the ball, it's your chance to talk. You don't have to talk. So if it's your first week there and you're feeling nervous or anxious about talking, etc., and you don't want to, you can either say your name and hand the ball on, so first question. Well, it's not the question. Is introduction. Who are you and why are you there? If you do that, and the actual question itself is how's your week been? But again, same principle. You get handed the ball, your chance. And some people just say, oh, my week's been good. And some people will give you a breakdown of day by day of everything that's gone on during their week. What we'd like is a quick overview of your week, because obviously it's time dependent, and the most important question from our point of view is question 3. And getting everything off your chest.
So just to cut in there, so if you've got, how many questions have you got?
Five total.
5 total. Are you able to say those 5 today?
So we can say the first.
Because you could ask me them. I mean, I'm called to this, so I mean, you can use me as a test dummy.
So we can go through that now if you wanted to. So, Tony, how's your week been?
Pretty much standard week, lots going on and all that. Sometimes I'm not so sure about getting up because it's going to be a busy day and all that. But other than that, I'm waking up, I'm fit and healthy. So I take that as being a success.
Good. So then the ball would get passed around the group and say, finally come back to me. Then we start the next question. So it would be question 2, a positive from your week, please, Tony.
Positive from my week. Well, I've been with a load of fellas, my mates and all that. We've been away, we've played golf, we've had a great time, we've come back and all is good.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things we get is, because of the state of some of the people turning up, is they can't instantly think of a positive from their week.
Okay, yeah.
So one of the things we suggest, well, you've turned up tonight. And if it's the first night, or if it's the second night, or if it's the 15th
big positive.
night,
yeah, absolutely.
The fact that they've turned up, they've not made any rash decisions to do anything. They've turned up, so that's what we always point. There's always a positive to be drawn out of anything in life. That's my outlook on life.
Great words, yeah.
Even further to that, though, Jeff, we've had guys literally say they've had the worst week of their life for whatever reason, and that can be umpteen different things, can't it? A million different things. Their positive has been that they're still alive. Because they've not decided to do something. Not that they're at Andy's Man Club, but just because they're alive. That's their positive. Yeah. And obviously, as facilitators, that's good to hear, that they've not decided to take things into their own hands. But we build on that then. And as a team, not even just us, the team in the circle sat with them, the other guys that are from the community, all jump onto that and start to say, well, I'm glad you're still alive. I've just met you tonight, but I'm glad that you're still alive and stuff like that. And
that's how it should be.
Things like that become
Love it.
powerful to that person.
Love it. Yeah. Go on then, Jeff.
So that would be your positive from the week and come from there. And then it would be the biggie. I generally remind people that when people have got the ball at that point in time, it's their chance to talk, so give them that chance, because what we've got is a little bit of complacency sometimes. The guys have got to know each other, so they'll try and rescue them from whatever's going on. So it's their chance to talk. So anything to get off your chest, Tony.
Blimey, anything to get off my chest. Right. We can't talk politics, so we can part that one. But this is how daft my mind works. I've got loads of things going on, but then I'll start to get a little bit. I've got a load of ironing to do. And this is a daft thing, because I do all my own ironing. I'm not going to get that ironing done. I haven't been out on my bike. I'm going to get myself into a pickle here. And you kind of like, your mind just goes 10 to the dozen on such a simple thing like ironing. Honestly, I haven't got my ironing done. Christ, I need to put the food on tonight for the wife coming in. I'm not going to have time to do it. Those little things just through the day, sometimes they kind of like stall you a little bit with what your normal routine is. Sounds crazy, but that's where I am with that. So that's the kind of thing that messes around with my little brain.
But that's your thing to get off your chest. That could be the one thing that's ticked you to the limit, that your iron could have fallen over after you've done it, and you hit the roof because of it. And we always say it's not one-upmanship about somebody struggling with losing the job, or somebody just found out they've got cancer or anything like that. That particular thing is your particular thing. So we want you to talk about that, no matter what it is, how small you may think it is compared to the person sat next to you. It's your chance to get it off your chest and talk about it. We have people whinging about the workmates who've been annoying, who've got jobs that they should have got, and everything like that. Everything.
Yeah.
And much to some people's thoughts, it's not a lot of slagging the wives off or the girlfriends or partners. You hardly ever hear that, which some people would be surprised at. It's not meant. Which I initially thought it would be. It's more of this is bothering me and that's bothering me, and I don't want to tell the partner because she's got enough going on, or he's got enough going on, or whatever it may be. That's the type of thing that we hear, and that's a shame, really, because I'd say I'm quite open about what I've got going on, and I'm quite expressive of my feelings and everything like that, but some people are not in that position to do that. And I think, as you said earlier on, it's that culture. But as you say, you go into the pub amongst your mates, excuse me, it could be some macho BS that you don't want to start opening up and talking to you.
100%, Jeff.
You want to talk about football and so-and-so did well at this and so-and-so, rather than opening up. So that's where question 3 comes out, to get off your chest.
Sean?
Yeah, so just to add to what Jeff said there about you going to the pub, that if we rewind 10 years back to when Andy's Man Club started, that was one thing that Luke Gambler didn't want to do.
Right.
So when he reached out to his mates, I think the general consensus was, right, where we're meeting, what pub? Are we going to the White Lion, the whatever pub?
Yeah,
it's like, well, no, actually, I want to be in check of my emotions. I'm just going to go for a coffee in Costa. And that was the power of it, that he wanted to control what was being said. Not let his emotions go a few pints in, everybody getting a bit too deep into things and stuff like that, and not necessarily having that conversation and remembering what they had a conversation about the next day because they've drank the sorrows away and stuff like that. And
it is quite daft, because, like I say, I'll just revert back to my little drinking club with my pals and all that. It started off with, just one person saying that they'd gone on to statins and that, and all of a sudden, I'm on this. I've got that. I got diagnosed with that. And it kind of like just opened a gate kind of thing, because one of your mates who you're close to had said something that you didn't think they were going to say. And then all of a sudden, I'll say my bit as well, And it just works so well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like question 3, like Jeff's obviously gone through it there, but what Jeff also alluded to was the break. So when we have that break in the session, it always comes after question 3, because question 3 is the last permanent question we've got. But that break, so let's say I'd never met you before, Tony, and you came in with a similar issue to me. You've sat opposite me and heard my story, I've heard yours. We've gone, oh wow, there's another person in the world that exists like me with the same struggles. When we then go and fill our brew mugs back up, we'll gravitate to each other and start to say, how are you dealing with it, mate? I've got this similar stuff on.
It's so simple.
Never met you before,
for help.
But that's the magic. And we, quite often as a facilitation team, we sometimes just sit in the room, let the guys bugger off and get their brews, knowing that those connections are being made, that network's being formed, and we've sat there and done our bit in the session. We don't need to go and say, right, Tony, you need to go and talk to Sean because you've got the same stuff going on.
It's happening naturally.
It just happens organically, yeah.
What a great programme. So did you have a couple more questions, Jeff? Did they follow after the break?
Yeah, so we have the break, lads come back in. The last 2 questions are different each week, so they're relatively light-hearted, meant to lift the mood, etc. So question 4 could be, where's your favourite place to go on holiday and why? You know, so Tony, where's your favourite place to go on holiday and why?
You can have a laugh at this one. Blackpool. I was born in Blackpool, and I think I was conceived on a Wonder Walser. So I always have this link to Blackpool. But yeah, anywhere that's hot. But I just like to go to Blackpool because I kind of like lose myself in that fairground mentality, you know. So that's my answer complete, sir.
So immediately you see what you did there. You started thinking about that question and it brought a smile to your face. It lifted your mood and you started laughing about it.
Hey, I tell you what, listeners, you need to be in this room right now. This is priceless, this conversation.
Yeah. And that's part of the process. So light-hearted, Sean.
I was just about to say, Tony, I've referred to it a few times in the sessions that some of the stuff I've been through in the most recent years has been like a life roller coaster, but it seems like you've been on it since before you were born.
Well, it's one of the things, listen, so it's like opening up, and I did this a few years ago, and so people think, well, I didn't know that about him and all that. I was adopted, you see. I was adopted. The 2 people that had me were 15. And I've never traced. I wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo who my blood parents are. The parents that brought me up are my parents and whatever. So, you know, I opened up about that, you know, a few years ago, and it's kind of like, oh, it's all right to talk about, because I like kept that to myself and that. Oh, I didn't know that. Hey, I know somebody that was adopted as well. And all of a sudden somebody else says something, you see. So this is amazing now. I'm quite opening up here. It's like I'm in Andy's Man Club right now.
This is how the magic works, Tony.
Well, it is. The magic's working on me.
Honestly, some of the guys come in and they turn up wanting to say a story like what you've just alluded to there, but they'll talk about a parking ticket.
Well, I get
because if they've had a parking ticket and it's annoyed them, that's fine.
Yeah.
But slowly, through the weeks, as they get a bit more familiar with the group, the setting, the way things run and stuff like that, their barriers drop a bit. And all of a sudden, they become a bit more confident to say, well, actually, the original reason wasn't a parking ticket, it was this. And then all of a sudden, the floodgates open. And I'm not saying the floodgates open as in the crying and stuff, it's just that they let things out. And those are the guys that we see the biggest transformation in.
Brilliant. Your final question, Jeff, have you?
4th and 5th question change each week, but coming from head office. And so the simple one would be, how do you eat Kit Kat?
How do I eat my Kit Kat?
Do you break a bar off, or are you a savage and you bite into it all in one go?
I'll tell you now, I'm a savage with chocolate because that's probably my addiction.
I believe so.
There
yes.
you go. It's ripped off and it's eaten. Can I have another one? You know, so something like that. So I love the questions and all that. And immediately, see, you've got me hooked in. Dead easy just to talking and having a little bit of banter about it. Can really see how this works and how easy it is.
So you imagine being a guy that's just let everything out.
Yeah.
You've had it hidden in a closet for 30 years.
Yeah.
But then you've just left thinking about a Kit Kat conversation.
Yeah. It's phenomenal, this fellas. I'm loving it.
And one of the things I was worried about, I retired from work after 40 odd years.
You don't look old enough, Jeff.
Yeah, Tony. And one of the things I was concerned at, and we get a number of guys who got all the issues coming on, but one of the things and one of the biggest issues across the country, probably across the world, is loneliness. So you get the guys, and some of them haven't spoke to anybody in the whole week, and they turn up on a Monday, and they're amongst a group of guys, and they'll start to build friendships and everything like that, and that lifts them from their point of view. I found it great because I initially was, I'm leaving work, what am I going to do? And it's building it on from there, and I've built up amongst the facilitators and then amongst the group themselves. There's a group of us go walking and various different things. We've met up and
strong friendships now for life.
It's building from there because you've got a mutual appreciation that you're comfortable with it. So
absolutely. Do you ever get to a point where you can actually signpost any of the guys coming in for further help or anything like
absolutely.
that? Yeah,
Jeff actually said it earlier, the support network that we've got outside of it, that started way back when we were not even open in Barrow. So originally we were going to go into a nursery, a local nursery, and that's where we were going to hold our sessions because the caretaker there had arranged it and gave the green light. We went and tested it out, and I'm fortunate through my day job that I've met quite a lot of people through safeguarding and mental health support and stuff like that. So I reached out to a few of them people and said, look, I'd like you to meet the team that we're going to open the doors with. And we did. We got together at the nursery, and the nursery wasn't the wrong setting. it just wasn't as good as what we then got offered.
Yeah.
So as a team, we turned up at the nursery, had a bit of a social evening, some cakes and brews and all that sort of stuff, and just a little bit of a right, so what do you do? And people came with their branded charity tops on and professional entities and stuff like that. But that support network now, we've got in a WhatsApp group. So if you turn up on a Monday night, Tony, and we've got reason to signpost you,
Yeah.
but we don't actually know, because like Jeff said again, we're not professionals in our game, but we do have professionals to reach out to. So we'll put a message in that group chat, not saying Tony's came in with this, but we had a guy last night, turned up, got X, Y or Z problems going on, who's best to direct them to? And in that group chat, people fly back with messages straight away, go and send them to us, or this number, tell them to reach out to that. So the next Monday when we see that guy, we can pass that information on.
I mean, you're saying you're not professionals, but all I can see now is professional guys right in front of me doing really, really professional things. So bottom line, how do you manage financially? Because I guess there's a cost for your group to be able to continue moving forward.
Yeah, so going into the location and things like that. The nursery were giving us free facilities, but then myself and a few others in the team went to Barrow Soccer and basically went cap in hand, basically going up to at the time I think it was like a commercial marketing manager role that the lady Rachel had, and we went in saying, can we have this, that and the other, and it was like a page in the next programme, can the team wear the shirts to warm up? Yes, and everything that we wanted was like, yeah, that's great, brilliant. And then we about to leave the meeting, and she's like, "Oh, I'm disappointed in you." Like, I'm thinking, why? And she said, "Well, why didn't you ask us to host as well?" Like, and I was thinking, well, I didn't think you could. Like, I was thinking, and I suppose my naivety to around what League Barrow were in at the time was that I thought they'd have Monday night football matches.
Yeah,
and they don't. So when they were obviously in League Two, we won't talk about where right now, but in League Two, they didn't have Monday night football. So that was something that she'd already looked into, she'd planned for, and known that she could offer us that safe space. She'd spoke to the club, directors and the board were on board with it. So I went in asking for a couple of favours and came out with a new venue, and it was brilliant.
Well, that's great. And again, that's the outside organisations looking in and how much they respect what you're actually doing within your programme, and that's something very, very powerful.
Yeah,
for people
and
to think.
the football club have never charged us a penny for anything. We've held different events there. They'd give us the venue for free and all that sort of stuff. So Monday night is our safe space, but we've also had like events in the beer garden there, and we did like a music festival one of the summers. We've done a second year anniversary celebration event where we got a load of different bands in. We got people reading poetry, so guys from the club actually turned up and read some poems that they'd wrote about their life struggles and how Andy's Man Club helped them and things like that. And then outside of all that, when we turn up, we've got branded gear on.
Looking good today, fellas, with your kit.
The hoodies, they are synonymous with Andy's Man Club.
Yeah.
It's a plain black hoodie with a white sign on it.
Yeah.
But that branding stuck from the very beginning, because the white signage is the light in the dark, and that's what Andy's Man Club are wanting to give. So they've stuck with that. But again, as facilitators, we just get that. So I wear mine quite a lot. I do wear it to work as well. And if it gets a bit washed out and I need a new one, I just message Andy's Man Club and they send me a new one. But they are just a standalone national charity. So it's not a Barrow charity. It's not an Ulverston charity. It runs nationally.
Superb.
Yeah.
Superb. So in your positions, and you've been going many, many months now, if not years, have you ever had any individuals that have come up to you and said, "You've saved my life"?
Oh, countless
I've
numbers.
got one that puts a lump in my throat.
Go on, let's finish off with this, Sean, because I mean, for you to say countless as well, Jeff, I'm thinking this is how priceless your organisation is. If men are coming up to you and saying, "You've saved my life," I mean, this is priceless. I can't think of a better word, Sean.
Right. So Monday nights, my lovely wife allows me to play out for a couple of hours. But generally, when I've finished a session, we do a bit of a conversation at the end between the facilitators to see how things have gone on. And then I normally get my phone out my pocket, and I've got a to-do list, which is go to Asda, get bread, milk, and whatever else I need to take home with me. So I went round to Asda. Obviously, it's only a stone's throw from Barrow Soccer anyways. And with me having the hoodie on, a lady had stopped me. I always remember it like it was yesterday. So I was stood getting some carrots, and this lady turned around and said, "Oh, excuse me, are you Andy?" I was like, "No, I'm not Andy, but I do go to Andy's Man Club." "All right, I can see your hoodie. I recognise it. Are you all right to come and say hello to my daughter?" And I was like, "This is getting a bit strange now. Just come for carrots." But then she said, "Oh, my daughter really wants to see someone from Andy's Man Club." I was like, right, fine, let's go. And the daughter was actually looking at some headphones. So a couple of aisles away. So I walked around, I was pushing my trolley, the lady was pushing hers. And I just said to her, I said, can I ask why she wants to see someone? She said, I'll let her tell you that. I was like, all right, okay. So by the time I got around there, my cogs were going. I was thinking, right, I hope she doesn't say that she's got some issues going on and like ask for help and support and stuff like that. Because firstly, Andy's Man Club's over 18s, so we don't deal with children. But with her saying daughter, she didn't look old enough to have a daughter over 18 either. Got to the young lass. And she just pointed at me, pointed at her mum, pointed back at me, and then walked over and hugged me. And I was like, this has got pretty strange now. So I give a little bit of a hug back sort of thing, thinking, like, where do I go with this? And then I sort of turned to her mum, and her mum just went, told you she wanted to see you. And I was like, right, excuse me, love, like, can I just ask why you wanted to see someone from Andy's Man Club? And she just gave me another hug and said, you saved my dad's life. Wow. I don't know who that guy is. Never met him.
Wow.
Well, I have maybe met him. But
listen, I've just got the shivers listening to that, Sean. I mean, that's just... You can't sum it up any better than that. I mean, I've got the shivers. I'm a little bit stumbling for words and that now. I mean, that's phenomenal.
So I've got a daughter who's 12, and this girl was probably about similar age. So, it meant a lot.
Crikey, guys. Hey, we've been at this for quite a few minutes and all that. So I'm going to give you a couple of swerve ball questions now, one each. Going to give you a golden wand. You can change anything, locally, nationally, world, anything you want, but your golden wand will sort it. Jeff.
It's not...
The tables are turned here, all that.
Even though you gave me the question before, I'd still...
pass the ball on, Jeff, so you're not willing to talk.
No, pass the ball, no. I would like to pass on the thought to anybody. It's like, be comfortable in being you and opening up about what you're feeling, but also in the reciprocal point of view, people that they're talking to, be able to listen properly, because that's an art form, is being able to listen properly. So be comfortable talking and have somebody respectful enough to listen to what you're saying and give you the chance to express that and think about it before they respond, because a lot of people don't actually think about what's been spoken to them. Just immediately, first few words out of their mouth, they've got a response formed in the lips, rather than fully listening to what's been said to them and understanding it without an ego or an attitude it's listen to what's been said and have a think of it before you give a response.
Perfect, that, Jeff. Absolutely perfect. Sean, top that one.
So I think certain things are going on in the world at the moment, aren't they, that don't necessarily breed as good news. And I think if my magic wand could work, I'd probably do something around having either something like a hate or like I know hate's a very strong word, isn't it? Like a negativity filter or something like that, so that if somebody was starting to do something that was negative, either on themselves or on somebody else, then it would instantly stop them. So I don't know, like a social media keyboard warrior, for example, starts the type of message that's going to maybe make somebody do something because they're on the receiving end of it. That filter stops them from doing it.
Pulls them back. I tell you what a great answer. Two great answers there. Listeners, you've been privileged today listening to Sean and Jeff from Andy's Man Club. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time out today to come in. What you've talked about has really, really put a smile on my face. It's enlightened me, and I hope that has done for listeners. And long may you continue the fantastic work that you are doing.
Just final thing, from 7 till 9 every Monday, apart from bank holidays. If you go onto the Andy's Man Club website, Google it, put your postcode in, you'll find out the nearest group to you. It should be within 30 minutes or so go for it, turn up, don't be afraid. 18s to any age. We had a 90-year-old come in for a while. Just get yourselves along.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Jeff. Sean, Jeff, thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for having us, Tony.
You've been listening to Community Crumpet, a tasty slice of community spirit. If something in this episode resonated, share it with someone who'd appreciate it, or keep the conversation going wherever you are. Community Crumpet is developed by Love Barrow Community Awards CIC, celebrating and supporting the people and stories that make our community what it is. Thanks for listening.